The return to serve is one of the most important shots in the game. If you can't get your return in the court, you can't get a side out, which means you can't score, you can't win. With today's new paddle technology, serves are getting harder to return than ever before, at least since the chainsaw serve is banned. So that means we have to make sure that our returns are in tip-top shape. We're using good form, good strategy, good technique, so that we can get our returns deep in the box, so that way our opponents can't hit a huge drive on us and we get that opportunity to get a side out. So today, I'm gonna show you guys some of my top tips to make sure that you're getting your returns in the court consistently, and not just in, but deep and aggressive, so that way your opponents are gonna have a hard time hitting their thirds. So to correct one of the most common mistakes that I see with the return to serve is gonna be a two-part tip. So many players will run through the returns while standing straight up. If you do those two things, you're gonna miss a lot, or if you make them, hit them very short. So what we're gonna do to counter that is make sure that we do two things. You're gonna, one, stop before you hit, and then two, get a low base to drive through the ball. So what do I mean by that? When I'm hitting a return, I'm not gonna run and hit while I'm running. Yes, I wanna get up to the kitchen line, incredibly important. But what I need to do is I need to take a split-second pause to get my feet set before I continue on up to the kitchen. So I'm gonna start back here, my opponent's hitting their serve. As it comes, I'm gonna move up to it, stop for a second, swing, hit the ball, and then continue my way up to the kitchen. If I do that, it's gonna give my body stability. When I have stability, I'm gonna be able to control my shot. My paddle's not gonna be going all over the place. My feet are not gonna be going all over the place. I'm set, I'm ready to go to hit a good shot through the kitchen. Now what we're gonna do in addition to stopping is we wanna make sure that we get a low base. This is incredibly important when I have somebody ripping heavy topspin serves at me that are pushing me back off the bounce. If I stop, but I'm standing straight up, a heavy topspin serve with a lot of weight to it is gonna push me back. So what I need to do is once I get there, get a nice low base. See how I have this knee bend, my back is pretty much upright. And from here, I'm gonna drive into the ball, pushing off my back leg. So that way I have this nice, stable base to counteract the force of the ball and allow me to swing through with good power and control. If I get low, I'm gonna be more of a force against the ball that's coming in hard at me. So I'm gonna be able to be stable, low, set, and then I can swing through and control that ball all the way to the backcourt. So for reference, when you're hitting a return, here's what you don't want to do, which is stand straight up and run right through it. If I have someone hitting hard at me, there's no way I can control that. So what I want to do is get up to the ball, stop for a split second, plant my feet, and get that nice low base, especially if I'm playing someone that has a big serve. Now, if you can do those things, that's not going to get you 100% of the way there. It'll get you close, but there's one more tip that you need to make sure you're doing in order to perfect the return, and that is giving yourself a runway to the ball. So what I mean by that is we're going to start further back. See right here, I'm about 7 feet back behind the baseline. So that way, no matter where my opponent hits the serve in the box, whether it's short or deep, I am moving forward to hit it. So I can go up to it, stop, hit, and then go through. If I'm starting here just behind the baseline and my opponent nails that baseline or even hits it a few feet in front of me, even if I get low, I'm gonna be hitting the ball on the rise. I'm gonna be pushed back. When I'm pushed back, there's two things that are gonna be really bad that happen to me. The first is I'm gonna be off balance. If I'm hitting like this, I can't control that. My paddle's going up, it's probably gonna go out, I'm popping up. That's gonna be really tough. And then the other thing is, I have no forward momentum. If I'm hitting right here and I'm getting pushed back, the ball leaves my paddle and my opponent's getting ready for their third, and I can't even get my weight going forward to get myself up to the kitchen line. So here's what I mean. And as you could see, I wasn't established at the line by the time my opponent was going to hit the shot. So I was really uncomfortable. Even if you make it, you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage. So instead, what we want to do is we want to start back behind the line. I'm not worried about the short serve because all the time in every single sport, it's easier to move forwards than backwards. It is always easier physically for me to get my weight, my body going forwards than it is to backpedal and get back. So I'm going to give myself extra room. If I got to run up there, that's fine, so be it. But I don't want to have to move backwards. That's what I don't want to do. So I'm going to start back here, give myself that runway so I can get to the ball, get low, drive through it, move up to the kitchen, and then I'm going to be established. And as you can see, I got to the kitchen line by the time my opponent hit, and I was perfectly prepared to hit an aggressive fourth shot because I gave myself that space to move up, stop with forward momentum, and continue up to the kitchen.